Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Brent Masters back to the podcast. I'm your host, Joey Licea, and today we have a very special guest. We have dating. We have the topic today is dating. What is it?
Dating app mishaps. Although I
Dating
think
app
we're mostly
mishaps.
we're mostly doing Tinder. It seems like, but in general,
That's the subreddit I found. There's this one I can't find it, but there's this really good one where I'm just going to describe it to you. Where this guy he goes to Reddit for help, and what he does is he's not having any luck on Tinder. So what he does is he puts his profile out there for everyone to see and critique. And this guy, man, is like, I can't even, I wish I could show you. He's just doing everything wrong. The pictures, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to, like, I mean, not supposed to. I mean, I feel like a girl, if as a guy speaking, if you're putting yourself out there like that on a dating app or a dating profile, you're trying to do your best. You're trying to like, I mean, I would assume, you're trying to find someone that, of course, likes you for who you are, but at the same time, you're not. It's kind of like a job application or like a job interview. Like you wouldn't show up with a messy T-shirt. You know what I mean? It's that same kind of concept. I feel like, where it's like some people
it,
just are not aware
it's
of
a billboard.
what
It's a billboard.
it's the billboard to who you are,
You're
right?
driving by. You're going to Vegas. You're just driving by a billboard. You have a point 0.5 seconds to be like, oh, maybe to get that swipe.
Maybe I want to stop at this whatever the billboard is telling you, like yeah. But I feel like just like even I'm sure like major companies can tell you, or just in general, any company, any job would tell you that like all the horror stories of people that show up. My wife does that. My wife, she recruits people and she sees a lot of things that she wonders why they came and made that decision, where this, where that. Anyways, but this guy, right? He had a haircut where it was like he has no hair. Like he's balding, but he has a thin thing of hair and he had it like long, but what they did was he cut it, but he cut it to where like you could still see the baldness underneath this thin piece of hair that he had covering it.
Oh no.
And he did it like he was sporting it and he could tell he was sporting it, but it didn't flatter him, like I mean, who knows? Maybe he found someone because like you never know. Anyways, so we're gonna get into a couple of these. And that's I mean, did you find any that you found funny?
I have some pulled up. Um, I'm gonna try not to look away too much because I don't want to. But yeah, I just have a couple as well. But we'll get to go. Let's just do the ones you've already found.
Okay, there's a couple others I sent to myself because I felt like I was sending you way too much. So I started sending them to me because I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna be like, what the fuck?
Also,
Um,
as I was reading them, I lost track of time, so it was like it was at the time we were gonna start. And I'm like, oh shoot! So I got last minute got things ready, but I was in the middle of reading all of yours.
yeah, there's some
Um,
fucking funny ones, dude.
so I'll be the first. Okay, so before we get into it, let me first clarify that I am not gonna like harshly judge people because it. I've done Bumble, and in my opinion, is for me it's terrifying to have all your information just like posted somewhere. I had it posted once. This was I don't know a year or so after I got divorced, and I put it up, and people at work didn't know. And I had someone come up to me and say, "Hey, you're married, right?" I'm like, "Oh, I used to be." And then, but it was so awkward because I immediately felt like, "Oh my god!" Like everyone knows, and every when I'm at work, all like the members, I just feel like the members know, everyone knows, everyone's read it, so I couldn't do it. So I'm like, I see. So when you have guys who like legitimately just try, or girls, but I'm like, good for you for trying, but yeah, we're kind of going for the the um the blatant mishaps as opposed to nitpicking because I'm in no place to judge nitpicking, but just the blatant ones.
Or even better, I think, would be because if the ones I sent you, it's the comments are way funny. Like the
The
comments.
comments, right?
That's where it's at. That like some of them, the comments are more entertaining than the actual post. So I think that's what we could do just to make it a little bit easier. Like we're not judging them, but we're just laughing at the comments because some of the comments
Okay,
are
yeah,
dead fucking on, dude. Some of the comments are just dead fucking on. Like, what are you thinking, bro? Or whatever, you know? So
right.
we could do that. So it's the girl, it's the guy who says down to go for dinner on Thursday. Then maybe come over if everything goes well. My boy would be happy to see you. And then she says, I can on Thursday. I have a client and then a volleyball game. I'm only free Friday night or Sunday night. Who is your boy? He puts, Friday works better. My boy equals eggplant emoji. And then he ends up with the smiley, like the crying face. He's happy, or he's doing the laughing face with the crying. The girl says, "Oh, LOL. I thought maybe you had a dog." The guy says, "Haha, I have a dog too, so you will meet my boys. Would you be down? I bought a new memory foam mattress." And she goes, "I mean, I don't really plan to go home with the guy on the first date. First date is just to get the vibe for things typically no pleasure. Otherwise, I feel like there's a lot of pressure. I mean, I don't really plan. Okay." And then he says, "That's fine then. We can go for dinner and then have a cute BJ if everything goes well. If that's okay, BJ like a thank you note." Then she puts, "Wow."
I'm like, is this how people talk on these things?
Hey, apparently it is. That is so fucking crazy, dude. Yeah, so basically that's just a guy who is I sent you some of those, so maybe we can just like focus on this one. But yeah, basically guys who are like I don't know, just too brave.
I I have to. I mean, there's no way that that works though. But okay, it makes you think how many times has he done that, or is that just does it just never match? So he's just like whatever, just throw it away or something. I don't know.
Maybe
Just
yeah,
throw a hail
just like
mary.
a yeah, exactly like a Hail Mary, just going in for
I mean, it's a new memory foam mattress.
it. That is crazy though. That's brave. And then the comments, of course, we're gonna if I could show you the comments, fucking hilarious. I love. Okay, let's read the comments on these. What's a cute blowjob? I'm so curious. It's cute because his dick is so tiny, obviously. Definitely these vibes. Who the fuck calls it my boy? And then someone else says, who the fuck raised these people? It's very obvious who raised them. Obviously, no one. I think his boy being an unmentioned son would have somehow been better than whatever he's doing. And then this is a meme. Me when I found out my boy is not an adorable pup. Yep.
Oh man.
Dude, that's where the comments sometimes. But yeah. I don't know, dude. I've never had the balls to do that. I think it'd be funny if I heard a story. I mean, I'm sure people do that all the time, you know. So this is another one I can show you that is extremely I would say like this guy really has his priorities. He knows what the fuck he wants, right? So this guy asks this girl, "What does pansexual mean? What does pansexual and non-binary mean?" And this person puts pansexual means I'm attracted to multiple genders more than male and female. Non-binary means I don't fit into the binary means of gender, so neither boy or girl, kind of somewhere in between. And then he writes back, "Thanks is for letting me know. Wanna fuck."
thanks,
he
thanks,
he knows what he wants. See, this guy knows what he wants, right?
thanks for the lesson, but let's just get down to it.
I like this comment. This dick is rated E for everyone. But the erection and orgasm are separate DLC purchases.
True respect, true
Yeah.
respectful sir.
True respectful, sir. Doesn't care about genders, just wanna fuck. A hole is a hole. God. Straight to the point. Respect. Yeah, that's basically what I was trying to get at. Straight to the fucking point.
Hey, he's
Damn.
honest, so can't
Right.
hate too much.
Right. Oh my gosh. This one I think is very interesting. I don't know if you had a chance to look at this one. This is from a girl named Mackenzie, 22. Harvard University, lives in Tampa, and she attends a play. She's actually in school. Check out what school she's in. Lawyer school.
That's a perfect school for lawyers. I've
She
heard
goes
good things
to
about that one.
she goes to lawyer school. Oh, I didn't know that was a Harvard lawyer school in Tampa.
When you look like that, the details aren't relevant.
Yep. Oh my god! And then someone put it could be a catfish. Which yeah, if someone puts Harvard or
There,
lawyer school, that kind of feels like that they're stretching their English a little bit.
I'm wondering if it's either a catfish or what if it's just a way for her to just like hide of where school she actually goes to. I don't know, but that I don't know.
Yeah,
But lawyer school, see, it seems pretty legit.
check out this one. This guy is trying to play a joke, right? So he puts, "That's weird. You really look up dog in that second picture." She puts, "Huh?" And he goes back to up dog. You got that up dog look on your face. She says, "What the fuck? You got the I get no pussy and that my dog lick peanut butter off my balls look on your face, bitch." And then he responds back with, "Not much. How about you?" Wow.
He has to commit to it at that point.
Right. He just has to. And then the top comment, "Don't worry, bro. The worst you can do is say no." Oh my God. You got absolutely wrecked, dude. Laughing my ass off.
Careful with this one. It's an antique.
It's an antique. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh fuck. Yeah, dude. This is sad. This makes me feel sad. All these fucking getting at people's what is this one? Oh, let me show you this video if I can find it. This is this video I found of you can never tell nowadays what is a joke and what isn't, because all these that we're looking at could just totally be jokes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they could be fake. I
Yeah,
have
very
no idea.
fake, but a lot of them are either way. If they are fake, some of them look really really crazy. Like how if they're real, it makes people look really crazy. And like I feel like the internet, the first time we've had internet like this, where it's just so you can just see anything. Like, you just see different types of, because back then it was like you didn't really know who was out there. Now you're starting to see who's out there in the world, like these crazy ass
Yeah,
people.
I'm actually worried that they're mostly real because I'm like maybe they could easily be real.
Right. And that's another thing. That's exactly another thing. Let me find this. I'm sorry. I'm looking at other videos. I'm laughing at this. It's not funny. There's this video. I swear it's I sent too many videos to my wife, but it's basically a guy and he's explaining to uh he's looking at his camera and I'm sure he's talking to TikTok or Instagram, any one of these reels, and he's trying to explain to these people what he feels like giving dating advice to people. And he's realistically like just going off on like why he thinks how you think you can get a man and keep a man. And he has 5 rules or 5 things you should do that are wild. Fucking wild, dude. Let me find it right now. I showed it to my wife. We were laughing, fucking laughing.
But a lot of these that I read, it just seems like people have really fragile egos, which make but that's the thing. If you're putting your info out there, I don't know, because the you'll see these texts that I have to believe some are true. Some are probably fake, but I have to believe some are true. Where the first like three or four back and forths are fine, but then one person says something that's a little off, taken it might be taken a little wrong, and then it just totally does a 180 to be like, no, it's all negative at that point. I'm like, oh man, it's something.
Hmm.
There's a nerve. Yeah, someone hit a nerve there real quick. I guess what I will say about some of these are that if they are real,
Found it.
at least you're getting them out of the way quickly, as opposed to 2 years down the road, you find out that they're like that, like this, like certain ways.
Right.
5 things men shouldn't have to do when dating, married, or in a relationship. Number 1, wash his own clothes. If you at your man's house and you see that his clothes need to be washed, take the initiative and wash them. Number 2, clean his house. Regardless of the fact if you live with him or not, you should still clean his house. It's just something about a woman's touch that hits different when your house is being cleaned by a woman. Number 3, cook his food. We should come home to a home cooked meal every night. If y'all don't live in the same household, take him a plate. Number 4, ask for intimacy. Your number 1 duty as a woman is to please your man. We shouldn't have to ask for love, intimacy, and affection. When we leave to go to work in the morning every day, our sack should be empty. Number 5, ask for peace and quiet. We've been fighting and dealing with the world all day. The last thing we want to do is come home and argue and fight with our woman. Ladies, men are very simple. Keep our bellies full, keep our balls empty, and be quiet. Free game.
5 things that guys should not have to do. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. There's just something that he's like, clean his house. There's just something about a woman's touch that hits different.
That's the epitome of I just like the way you do it. So you should just do it because you do it so much better.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, that's so fucking crazy.
I mean, if he's joking, then he looks pretty darn serious. But like otherwise, like, yeah, good luck.
Oh, yeah, but that's the same thing of that you said, or I sent you about this other guy on Tinder who like when they put like about me and you put like all these crazy things on like what you're looking for, and it's like such crazy demands where it's like, I mean, I'm just so glad I'm not out there dating anymore because like that would exhaust me. That would
Yeah,
exhaust my soul to have to fucking do that right now. I have so much going on. It's just like fuck. I don't. It's the last thing I want to do right now is having to go through hoops just to fucking meet somebody.
it's weird. It's like I don't know. I mean, I'm not really trying very hard as it is, so I guess I just see these kind of things like online. I'm like, man, this is like seems like it's a minefield.
Yeah, and it's changed. It's changed a lot in the last like 10, 20 years. Like it didn't used to be like 10 years ago. I was using Tinder 10 years ago. Uh, before my wife, I was using Tinder and it was, and then, other ones, I used other ones as well. Never Bumble. But that's when you're talking about Bumble.
That's the only one I've used, at least within the last. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, the only recent one I've used was Bumble, but when I say recent, I mean a couple of years ago.
Hmm.
But I'm just like, it's too, it's too, it's a lot of anxiety. But I think it's just in general though, because it's like you only have, at least for me, it's like I don't live in like the heart of like a city, so I don't have a lot of options to begin with. So it's like if you mess up too many times, it's like there's nothing really else there. So it's like, well, I'd rather just not be on it rather than risking messing something up, I guess.
Well, I mean,
So I don't know.
you have a better opportunity than I would say a lot of people in other places like El Centro. Like someone out there really has like a fucking slim pickings compared to us or you being single. But and it's just all about going about it because I feel like I don't like because I did Tinder forever and I never got anything for it. Probably did Tinder for a couple of years and I never. I think I met up with a couple people, like I hung out, just like regular dates. But it was like I don't know. You're going based off of looks basically instead of like really who that person is.
That's
And
a hard. That's
yeah,
oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
That was one of the hardest things because you have an about your billboard, right? I overthink things way too much because if I put on there that I like to hike, I'm like, okay, how is someone gonna assume I hike every week, or how often does someone assume that how many times you hike, or how? So when you say you like to do something, how much? And that's just where it comes into like I overthink things way too much because then so once you say something like, oh, I like to do this, that means you're committed to saying you like to do this. So then that person now has this mentality of already coming in saying, oh, you do this, where it's like, yeah, I do, maybe not as much as you think I do, but so anyway, just in general, I feel pretty boring as a person. So I'm like, what do I say? I have like there's like so much to type, and I'm like, I don't have a lot to type. So if I gonna have like 2 lines of something, but then if you don't have, it's like if you have too much info, you don't want too much, but you also don't want too little. But then you think, oh, well, just be yourself. But then you see how it's very easy to just kind of, I don't know. It's just so is nuance the word? There's no direct answer to any of it, and that's where I freeze up on it.
Right. Well, I
Because if
feel
you
like
say, oh, sorry.
as a person, you shouldn't. You should always have the right to change your opinion on things. Like you could be a hiker today and not tomorrow, or whatever. But people just want you to. Yeah, it's another thing. People expect you to be those people. Like if you put hiking, then they expect you to be fit, or like whenever you got, or let's say you do hit it off with someone, maybe they'll expect you to be more of like, like an athletic person, but you just like to hike every once in a while. And is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but as I say it, I think it sounds ridiculous, but it's just how my mentality goes with it. So like if I see someone who I might like, but they say they like to do this, or like whatever it is, I'm like, well, I don't know if I like to do that unless it's like once every now and then. So it just turns me off from even instigating any conversation because I'm like, well, I don't know. I'd rather just skip the whole thing. But then you have that with every single person. So every single time you're like, I'll just skip. But and the ratio between men and women is so vast anyway, because women have so many options, whereas men, or was it? I can't remember which way is which, but I think it's men who are just kind of swipe right the good one where you like
Yeah.
so you and then women get to be more choosy, which I kind of prefer. That's kind of why I liked the idea of Bumble where the woman has to initiate because I'm like I feel like the women probably get bombarded a lot more than men do as far as, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, yeah, so I'd rather they be able to make the conversation happen first. But at least that's my personal opinion.
Yeah. Well, that is a real thing. Take a look at this. That's a real thing I sent you. There is this guy, anonymous guy, and he shares his, I guess I'm assuming he got his girlfriend and I'm assuming they stopped using Tinder, but they both shared their, or maybe they met on Tinder. I don't know, but that they're sharing their. He puts me versus my girlfriend's Tinder insights. So he put, I am finally off Tinder. I don't know why, but my swipes and matches are just since I re-downloaded the app in September. I originally had it for around 3 years. And this is him. Okay, 22 years old. You're seeing that he swiped 4,937 times. You see it?
Right.
So this is the many times. So basically, from that, he matched once. He got it. He had one chat and then one date and then one relationship from the him swiping 4,937 times. He swiped that many times, but he swiped right 1,600 times, almost 1,700 times, right, and got all that. Okay, these are his basically his score in another graph, and then this
Right.
is his girlfriend's. She swiped right 42 times, had 16 matches, got to 4 chats, one date, one relationship. So hers was way less swipes. Remember he did like 1,600, I think. Oh, he did
What
4,000, almost
was
5,000.
Oh, so he was on Twitter, okay, or not Twitter, Tinder.
Tinder.
So if you go to his again, the first one, she's on 104 days, he's on 97 days.
Ooh, you're right. I didn't even notice that on top. So he for 97 days, he swiped right almost, or he swiped completely left and right almost 5,000 times in 97
Right.
days. Swiped right 1,695 times. And the girl, she was on for 104 days, which is a little bit longer than him, but she did like literally 10 times less than him.
So about 10 times less.
Swipes, 42 rights, and she got 16
I got
matches.
16 matches. And he got the one match in almost 5,000 swipes.
Right.
But his one match had just happened to be a relationship. So that's like the one that counted. So good for him.
Wait, that's what I'm saying. So basically she went from 439 to 42 to 16. He went from 4,937 to 1,695 to 1,111.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah. Okay. So that's interesting. I thought. So yeah, like you said, like it basically it took her no effort to get to one relationship. It took him a lot more swipes, a lot more stress, I would assume. Which is yeah, and I see it. I get it. I get it. Even without that graph, without that chart, I understand that that's how it goes. Because guys, I'm sure, go on there all the time, or maybe a lot of people, not just guys, but people go on there all the time just to hook up. That's what they're hoping for. But the ultimate, ultimate, goal. I mean, I would assume the ultimate reason for this app is to ultimately get people together and marriage,
just one night stands or whatever. But I mean, that's what I've always thought of as Tinder was more of the casual. But I mean, it could lead to something. But
yeah, I know a lot of people who are together from Tinder and like actually have fair relationships. Like there's my my wife's cousin. She got married to a guy a couple of years ago. They met on Tinder. He's really cool. I do podcasts with him. He's really cool.
I know a couple. Well, I've met a couple people who've done. There's been I've met. Yeah, there's been a Tinder and there's been like 2 Bumbles. Either I met or I just like hear it on like interviews and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
It definitely makes more sense nowadays. Nowadays, everyone's online. I just feel like people still go to bars and stuff, but I just don't feel like it's as prevalent as it used to be. But maybe I'm just out of the loop. I mean, I definitely am out of the loop on everything. So
I'm starting to get out of the loop. Yeah, I've noticed that this year. I'm definitely starting to get out of the loop on a lot of things, which is like, I don't know. And I'm getting to the point where I don't give a fuck anymore, but I am getting out of the loop.
No, it was like I told you. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
It was like I told you, where it's like, I never really had to be in the loop on a lot of this stuff because I just randomly met my ex-wife at a Halloween party. No, just met her, and we immediately started dating, and then ended up getting married. And that was, I don't know, 22 or so. And before that, I've only gone on a date or two. So once I hit, I think 30 was when I was legally divorced. So once 30 hit, I'm like, what do I do now? Because it's like I don't know. I didn't even know what to do back then, but now I definitely don't know what to do now. And I see everything's, it just seems so, and maybe it's not so complicated. Maybe I know I overcomplicate just like I would do with everything else. I probably overcomplicate it, but it just seems so complicated from the outside.
Well, you should look at it in a good way. I mean, how long were you married for?
20, shoot, I think I got married at 20. I'm going to say legally it was, I think it was over three, probably close to 4 years, a little over three. It's hard to tell because I can't because you have to think how many years you dated, then how many years you were married, and then yeah. So, but yeah, it was about three, it was over three, but 3.5. I'll say 3.5.
Hmm. I mean, you should be somewhat grateful for the fact that you know, you're young still, because that's my worst fear is being divorced older. Like I would hate, I don't know what I'm gonna do if I'm 40 and I'm getting divorced. I'll be like, fuck, bro. Like, I had everything back when I was in my 20s and 30s, not anymore. You know? I don't know.
No, yeah, you really just have to take it as the experience of it because I'm in a position where at least emotionally and what's it mature. I am more mature. I'm where I am now because of all that's what's happened. If none of that did happen, who knows where I'd be now. So I'm grateful that all that happened. I don't look back on it and think, oh, it's my 20s, I wasted it. It's like, no, I'm glad it all happened because it needed to happen. So I know it's funny because you look back on it, you go, and I mean, you're obviously married and have kids, so you know what I'm talking about. You know how good life can be. You're like, oh, like when it was good, it was like, wow, this is like amazing. So I know where that could be. But then
Yeah.
um so it's like you could get to see it. Obviously it's not every day. You have on and off times, but yeah, I definitely don't look back at and regret it. I don't know how we ended up on this topic from the Tinder thing, but anyway, it's just topics.
Yeah, just topics. But yeah. So let's break it up a little bit. Let me show you the next segment. Some people can use Twitter or excuse me, Tinder for like you were talking about for their own reasons. And check out this one. This chick, Gloria, is 19. Okay.
6'8" she is tall.
Yes. The professor at a certain university is blocked out. She lives somewhere. She's straight, she's lesbian, and she's bisexual.
Do you think she's at lawyer school?
Maybe. But this is a so she's 19 yet she's a GILF, which GILF I would assume stands for Grandma I'd like to fuck. The number
Yeah.
one GILF in the something area. I may be old, but that comes with experience. Looking for some cute college kids to teach things they never knew about their bodies. So just off the top, she said 19, but I'm assuming she did that so people will instantly pair. She'll pair with certain people.
Oh yeah.
Like go through the slide underneath the filters and all that.
She knows exactly what she's doing.
There's a picture. Here's another picture. And she does not look, yeah, like 19 at all. She says, I have children, don't want more. She's vaccinated. She's better in person. She loves touches. She's a Virgo. Okay. Okay.
Smokes. Yeah, all right.
Okay. She knows a bunch of languages. She knows Hawaiian. She knows Chikiwa, Lithuanian.
Holy crap, she does. That's. I don't even know what some of those are. So that's
Yeah,
pretty impressive.
I know Hawaiian was the language, but maybe. Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. She looks different on this picture from the other ones.
Yeah,
That does not look like the girl in the front. So these two pictures do not look like this picture.
yeah.
Catfish. I'm assuming catfish.
It has to be because you would, if that was real, you would not put what university you're a professor at, unless you want to get like a lot of kids in your class, I guess.
Facts. Facts. You're right. You would not advertise to your professor at that place. That's true. That's very true.
I guess I don't get the catfish though, because it's like I guess you just never meet. There, I mean, there was that show. Remember that? I mean, it's still probably a show. Remember Catfish, the show,
Mhm.
where you had people for like they would date for like 5 to 10 years, and they would say, "Oh, I just never." They just always would say they're busy and they couldn't voice chat or they couldn't voice or FaceTime. They couldn't do this or that, and I'm like, they had excuses for like 5 years, and you'd never. There was never a red flag, but you know, it's just you get someone who's, I guess it would be that desperate to where you're just convincing yourself like, no, it's just they're just busy. They just can never voice. Why did I say voice? They can never FaceTime. They just can't. They're always too busy. It's like, I mean, maybe 20, 30 years ago when everyone didn't have a phone, it was easier to do it. But now it's like, hey, if I'm meeting you, I'm within the first, week, I gotta get at least a voice. Why do I keep saying voice? I gotta get at least one FaceTime. Like let's just make sure we're who we say we are real quick.
Well,
But
from what I've learned, because I watched those catfish shows, I watched all those catfish shows, and I also watch 90 Day Fiance with my wife. But one of the things I've noticed is like, so there's two types of catfishing. There's the catfishing where they're doing it for money, which is mainly why they do it. Like they'll like pretend to be this
mm,
person and get them to fall in love with them, and then they'll be like, "Hey, can you send me like $1,000?" And this person's so infatuated with them that they'll do it. And then there's the types where, which happens sometimes on the catfish show, where this person is like really catfishing this person. You know, they're talking, they're having this relationship, but the person that never wants to be seen is usually like really overweight or doesn't look like the picture, but they're really in love with this person and they
right.
enjoy the conversations, but they're not being honest. They're not being honest with that person. And the catfish show is really, it stemmed off of a movie. It was a movie. Did you know that?
Like a
So
documentary or
yeah, a documentary where this
oh
guy,
man.
he did that. That's the reason. You know, the main guy who does the show,
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
he got catfished, and he does a documentary about basically that's how he started. He's a filmmaker, and he wanted to document him meeting this girl that he's been talking to for many years. And then when he found out that it wasn't her, he instantly like had to go over there and he like tried to figure out what was going on. And he found out who was doing it to him. It was an old lady who fucked him, who fucking was like really like having this relationship with him. And he tracked down the real girl of the pictures that he thought was her and asked her if she knew what was going on. She had no idea. It's a really good documentary. Well, that started the show. I guess MTV liked it and they bought it and they ended up like making
Mm.
a bunch of seasons out of it. But yeah,
When
some
I
people, yeah, wild.
when it first came out, it really was like, you didn't have access to FaceTime, so it really was like,
Right,
yeah, you're busy. Like
right.
you talk over the phone. You could you mail pictures, but any long distance relationship, you could catfish pretty easily.
Right.
So nowadays, it just seems like, but people still get catfish nowadays. But it's a lot. You think it'd be a lot easier to figure it out now.
Yeah. And yeah, but that leads us to, can I show you this video?
Was our everything. She was our rock. She was my hero. Now I don't even call her mama anymore. I just call her Gail. I went through one of the hardest times of my life this year, and my grandma hasn't been there or checked in at all. I don't know who she is anymore.
She's not the same grandmother. I try to be patient. I try not to get angry. I'm fed up. She doesn't care about her family anymore. She is trying to be somebody she's not. Recently, I went through my grandmother's messages and found out she was sending money to Post Malone. He said it was to prove she wasn't with him for his money.
Most of his messages are about money. He's just a scammer. That's all he wants. Now she asks me for money every week. Why does a millionaire want your money? If a millionaire is in love with you, he should be helping support you and giving you money. Why is he taking yours?
My grandmother is getting fraudulent checks sent to her. She's cashing them and sending him the money back.
We found a check that was from Post Malone that he had sent her for $26,000. And it looked real. So this guy knows what he's doing.
My grandmother's house was in foreclosure because she was behind in her payments.
Instead of paying her bills, she's sending all her money to this guy. You've had to change your bank and you keep saying, I got all these $100 phone bills, and you don't put two and two together that this person's the one that keeps stealing the money out of your bank.
If my grandmother ends up in jail because of this, she deserves it. He said, you sent $7,000, and he said, we can get more. But that was but nothing. You sent money, Mama.
This is not Post Malone. This is a scammer that needs to be brought to justice.
Whoever's scamming my grandmother has all our information. My concern is he could steal her identity, rob her, or even worse, come and kill us.
My family does not believe me. They think I'm mental. They think I'm crazy. They worry about me, but I'm fine. They think I'm being scammed by somebody overseas. They don't believe it's Post Malone. I have questioned why Post Malone would pick me. I know there's a big age difference, but we love each other and we're best friends. If I had the money, I would have surgery to make myself look younger. It would make me feel better about myself. I feel honored that Posty picked me. I would marry him if I could. The first gift he sent me was my promise ring. He's actually sent me a few rings. I confirmed that it wasn't a real diamond, but it's still special because it comes from Post Malone. I've talked to him on the telephone 3 or 4 times. When we've talked, it's never his voice. He talks to me with a Jamaican accent to protect his identity. I have sent Post Malone around $3,000. It was just to prove to his family that I was not using him for his money. I would send him a $50 gift card, a $100 gift card, maybe $150, but it was always for a good cause. Supposedly, he would tell me it was for his charity. Everything about him makes him interesting to me. He is good looking, and I do find his tattoos attractive. He calls me his queen. I call him my king. When we do text, Posty will tell me I'm coming, my queen. And I'd say, okay, I'll see you when you get here. And he never does come. He tells me he's busy or he's got a concert. He always has an excuse. I know I'm not being scared. I've never met Post Malone, but I'm waiting for that day to come. That's why I'm here.
You say you're in a relationship with Post Malone.
Well, yes.
Yep. So
I want that. I want Post Malone to come on that show and say, "Hey, thank you for the $3,000." That's what I want.
that'd be hilarious if he's like,
I
"You know
want
what?
him. I want it to be Post Malone. I would love for it to
I
be
really
Post
needed that
Malone.
money. Thank you so much." No, dude, but
Hey,
that's
you-
crazy. There's really people like that who believe that, and the fact that she even kind of confirmed it with the he always speaks with me in a Jamaican accent. Like, come on.
There is a show. I wish I knew what it was called. Oh, Trafficked. Anyway, and I can't remember her name. Anyway, I won't bother looking it up. But anyway, she does different. She goes like to areas like went to the cartel she's a journalist, so she'll go to the cartel and report information about what's the
The cartel.
fentanyl. Yeah, so she
Fentanyl.
but one of the things, the first episode, it was a show on, I think, Hulu, but one of the first episodes she went to, I don't know if it was India, but it was one of those places that has, you know, I'm a Nigerian prince and I need this much money to do to go. And that was one of the questions was like, so how does this, like, who falls for this? And they always say it's old Americans. Because they get incredibly lonely. We call them up. We just and you're able to trick them so easily. So they'll say, "Oh, just send me this much. Just send me this much." When I worked at Party City, when I worked there part time, we had a system where if an old person came in and bought a whole bunch of gift cards, we would report it as, "Hey, like, you're getting scammed. Like we're not going to sell you this much because you're getting scammed." Like we know. So like retail stores know that this is an issue. So if you're like older and buying a whole, like they'll come and try to buy $1,000 worth of gift cards, and we can't. I mean, as far as I know, I don't think we could stop them from doing it, but we will let them know, like, hey, by the way, if you're buying this from someone, like for someone, then you're most likely getting scammed. And there's a guy online, I watched some of his videos. He scams the scammers, so he'll like waste 3 or 4 hours of their time, like pretending he has like an old woman like voice changer. So, and it's so interesting to see how they try to get you to, like they'll tell them to go buy gift cards from like Bonds or whatever, but they're like, don't tell anyone like who you're like you're buying this for someone like over the phone. Like don't tell any employees, don't ask about anything. So they know that we're like kind of trying to help these people not get scammed, but it's all very interesting. It's all very interesting, but it's a really good show, and she had an episode on that.
Wow. But is that a thing that they would tell you at Party City, and when that happened a lot?
For there's probably 2 times in the 4-ish years I worked there that something looked fishy like that, but it wasn't like that crazy. But we were trained to be like, hey, if you see an old person on the phone or something buying a whole bunch, let them know, because it's bad enough to where most of these places are trained to at least keep an eye out for that stuff. But you can't stop them. But it's like, hey, you're on the phone talking to someone from another country. You may want to rethink buying these gift cards. But that's the problem. They get lonely. And then maybe it's a mental thing. I don't know. But she's probably really is convinced that it's Post Malone. And like, oh, well, one of these days I'll show you all that you're wrong. And yeah.
No, I mean, that's sad. That's really sad, but that makes sense. That makes so much sense, what you said. I thought that it would be more of like, they would teach you guys to watch out for people buying gift cards like that, because that's a fraud. That could be a fraud thing. But the fact that they're telling you, old people, that's crazy.
Well, I'm sure there's other things too. I was only kind of aware of that one. I never really did register stuff, but I don't know why exactly, but I think it's just easier. Like I don't think you could ask. I don't know how exactly to do it. For some reason, it's easier with gift cards. So that's why she's saying, she'll send $50 gift cards, $100 gift cards, but in small increments. Because for some reason, you ship those out, it's easier than cash, but I don't totally understand why. But I know they like gift cards for some reason.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like cash. It's basically cash. Use it as cash.
But the guy's pretty funny. He gets them all really upset because he'll intentionally do everything like the wrong way, and they get so mad.
I think I've seen that.
You might have.
I've seen a video like that where like they're like screaming at him, no, 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 and he's like, yeah, you want me to do this? Like, no, don't do that. And like, are you sure you want me to do this? Like he'll keeps like repeating himself.
he'll share his computer with the scammers, so like the scammers will see what he's doing because they're telling him, oh, put your money in this bank account, and he'll like do it, and then instead of moving it, he'll just delete all of it or something, and it freaks them out. And yeah, it's pretty funny. I feel like I'm bouncing around on different topics so much.
No, you're fine. We are totally fine. This is great. We're doing God's work here. Teaching people how to act, how not to act, and how to act. We can make fun of them. That's another thing too about nowadays. If you slip up, like it's on the internet. Like, you know what I mean? So people like back in the day, if you used to mess up, it was like just gone. But now with the internet, it's like stays forever. Like if it's like something, you know what I mean? Like I think of that all the time when I see like the stuff we're looking at now, and like you see like the video of the guy who's walking across the street, and this guy on his dash cam. I guess he's like they're being mad at each other, and the guy who's walking across the street's like flipping him off. The guy in the car, and then he hits a pole. You seen that video?
I don't know if I saw that exact video, but I've seen so I've seen that happen, but then they'll like rear end the guy in front of him or something like that too.
Oh, okay, yeah. Where it's like those people are on the internet forever. You know what I mean? And like it's just funny how like it was just Dude, I wish I could find this fucking thing, dude. Can't find it. Oh well. So this is another topic we can look at. I'm gonna share it with you. Fucking share it. City of 8,000 people, and I match with the person in the bedroom directly above my bedroom. Different apartment units. So all you see is as long as you don't live in 625 or 626, why do you say that? No way. Laugh my ass off. Yeah, I'm in 625. And then this person goes, woo. 626 has issues for real. They love to vomit and dump food off the balcony, and then my dog tries to eat it sometimes. Y'all are chill. And the other person goes, oh, that's not fun, but also that checks out. The other person says, is your room on the first floor? And then the person goes, yep, why do you ask? And the person goes, that's crazy. You're right above me. Damn. They matched with someone right above them.
Man, you never know.
Comments aren't that great. But yeah, that's luck right there. It's 80,000 people. I wonder what city they're in. This one. This one goes, oh yeah, I can see why this one. So the guy goes, I'm sorry to hear that, but it sounds like you did the right thing by getting out there as quickly as you can. Then she goes, I'm also sorry to hear about your divorce. What industry do you work in? The guy goes, I work for a consulting company. What do you do? She goes, very good job. What exactly is the consultation? I run my own small trading company. My income is diversified, and I do some crypto short-term trading to increase my income when I have free time and freedom. Do you know anything about crypto? And then the guy goes, right now, my focus is on tracking down scammy crypto artists and turning them into federal authorities. So I'm quite aware of crypto. And the title of this post was, why did you unmatch me? She's probably putting a scam on people, and he scared the fuck out of her.
When you read it, it does almost come off as like when it's a very good job, and then it also says when I have free time and freedom. So it's like you're speaking a little bit like a scammer.
Right. She sounded like a scam when she asked about like I felt that when I saw the do you know anything about crypto? Because a lot of scammers would do that to me when crypto was like a thing a couple years ago.
Yeah.
A lot of people would just hit me up about that and be like, oh, you know anything about crypto? Like if I'm supposed to not know. And then they're going to tell me all about it. Yep. Okay. Be honest, they say. Was I rude? Hey, I gotta be honest. I went on a date with someone last night and it went really well, and now I'm feeling weird about meeting anyone else right now. This person puts, okay, I definitely appreciate you being rude early, so I didn't have to learn down the road. All the best to you. Yeah, that was kind of fucked up.
That was a good one.
Yep. Yeah.
Um, I know. I mean, the person was honest. Yeah. To say that's rude is like, yeah, well, sorry, I guess.
Well, yeah, it's just more of like yeah, I guess it could be seen both ways because yeah, that person was probably doing that to be to give courtesy to the person. Like, hey, look, I know we're dating, but going out with someone else, whatever, whatever. But still, the other person probably thought, fuck this person. They're gonna be
Well,
dating other people.
that's the hard thing is like when you're talking to someone and you're not like official or anything, so you have to assume you're both dating, but it's like well, not dating, but you're both going out with other people. So it's like that's where it comes into like overthinking of like, well, at what point would it be rude? But I think at that point it's not rude. It's like, hey, I'm hoping in that situation they were both not official. So it's like, hey, by the way, I just went on this date. I feel pretty good about it, so I'm gonna not talk to you anymore out of respect. So I don't know. It's a situation that no one wins.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, it's just a situation where I don't know, man. What would you do in that situation? What would you do if, let's say, you
I
went on a date with this person, or you had planned a date with someone on Tinder, but then you end up going on a date with someone that was like you never thought was going to happen. Went on the date and it went really well, but you still have this other Tinder person that's on the line.
You have to be honest. So I think the person did the right thing by saying, "Hey, this is what happened." So I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to call it off. It sucks for that person, and it would suck to say that to someone, but you have to be honest with them because otherwise, if you go, yeah, if you go into a date not um serious about it, then I think that's worse. But if you went on that, let's say you went on a date with someone, but you still weren't sure, and you have this one set up too, I think you're also fine to go on both, right? Yeah, because
Right.
you're still not sure. So if you're going to go into it with an open mind, that's good. But if you're going to go into it and your mind's already made up, then you're much better off just being honest. So you just rip the band-aid off and say, "Oh, well, sorry."
I like that.
And hopefully, if you're on an app, then you're prepared for that or you're aware of that. But I don't know if that really applies off the app too, but I guess so.
Well, I mean, how many people do that? How many people go on both dates and don't say anything? Probably a lot. So,
Yeah.
like you said, it was very nice of that person to give the other the courtesy of knowing what is on their mind, what they're going through in their life. But at the same time, like you're saying, they're not tied together yet. So if this person wanted to do both, they still have the right to up until a certain point when either one of these relationships become more serious. But everyone has the right to do whatever they want to do.
It's just so it really just falls on being honest and being open with it because even if you went on another date and it didn't work out, I still feel like I'm trying to say how to word it. So if you went on, let's say, two separate dates and you ended up being with one, would it still be good to bring up? I guess I don't know. Would you still bring up the fact that you went on another date? Also, be like, hey, I went on another date too. It didn't really work out. Or if you don't bring it up, is that hiding it, or do you say so? That's where it's like it's so kind of a gray area.
Yeah.
Do you say, oh, I also went on this date before we were official, so, or does it not even matter? Probably, I don't know.
Depends on the person, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh-huh, honey.
I'm reading a Tinder. Let's see. So they met someone on Tinder, talked for a few weeks, and it was going great. And then they found out that the person was 80 pounds heavier than their profile picture. So it's like, that's rough. So it's
Hey,
like your
that's
profile, it's got to be up to date. It's got to be up to date. You have to show what's current.
a real thing, man. That's a real fucking thing.
Yeah.
I mean, probably happens all the time. I saw one, man, so many videos I could have compiled and got together for this, but I fucking forgot where they're at. Like there's the one where you see the one where the girl's like, I got catfished. And like she's like Snapchatting it.
My Tinder date showed up. My Tinder date came through. I got catfish.
I got catfish.
I didn't, but it just sounds hilarious.
Yeah, it's a funny ass video, dude. Oh my gosh. So man, but yeah, there's this one I want to find it. The fucking guy who was asking people for opinions. Like, what do you think? And dude, so bad.
Where is it? What's your opinion on Tinder? Is it Tinder Select? Isn't it like, it's like $200 a month or something?
Oh, I heard about that. I don't know what it is though.
Here, I'll Google it real quick. Tinder Select. It's hard because it's like, let me see what it is. Is my camera on? My camera's still on, right? When I'm doing stuff.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. $500 per month plan for Tinder's 1%. I think it's just for like the rich, because I mean, no normal person can afford $500 a month. Invite only subscription, so you get invited to pay $500 a month. Oh, it came after Tinder's parent company Match Group purchased the invite-only dating app The League, which that app costs users up to $1,000 a week. So yeah, it's kind of meant for a higher income clientele.
What?
$1,000 a week. But you know what? If you're let's say if you're a millionaire, right? The easiest way, I guess, to filter out people who aren't millionaires is do $1,000 a week on the dating app, right?
But what's the added bonus for doing that? What do you get for paying? Like,
okay. I don't know about the League, the $1,000 a week one, but the Tinder $500 a month is with Tinder Select. You get access to these unique perks. Okay, let's see. Direct message up to 2 times a week. You can send someone a message without having to match first. So 2 times a week, you send a message to anyone. Skip the line. People you like will see your profile unblurred in their likes. In their likes you grid. I don't know what that means. Your profile also remains prioritized on their likes you grid for 7 days. So I think you just get thrown onto people. So if let's say I like someone's profile, I'll get put on top of their likes list for 7 days. Like no matter what, you can't get rid of me. Special status, show off your membership with a badge. So you're kind of showing off that you have $500 a month to spend on there. Seen and be seen by Tinder's most sought after profiles. So you just get connected with higher end profiles, I guess, money wise anyway. VIP membership spots are limited less than 1%, so you get only the most exclusive experience possible, and early access to new content, new features in advance. So basically, it's so you can be in a group of the top 1% of Tinder profiles.
Okay, got it. But that I would assume, like, if I was a girl, I'm just assuming that getting a message from somebody that I didn't swipe right on, that would annoy the fuck out of me. Or even me as a man. Like if a girl, like a beast, some beast of a woman decided to get at me just because she has Tinder Plus, I'd be
you
like,
see that badge. You see the badge on the
I
front,
would
you go,
not
wow,
be, I would be
she got
unimpressed.
money.
I would
She
be
got
unimpressed.
money.
I'd be very unimpressed if someone did that to me. I mean, that's just me.
No, it would be annoying. It's for me, it's I mean, I can't hate on it too much in the sense of like we were talking about. If I was a millionaire, or if my parents were musicians, and I only want to get grouped with people in like my what bracket, then that would be the easiest way to do it. It's just you just price out everyone else, right? But you might have someone who's like, no, I am gonna save every penny and do $500 a month, and I'm gonna get someone on there.
And imagine that you're not getting anybody. Like I mean, that's like a weird thing to push. Tinder Plus, because then it's like, okay, there's only so much that people can go with that, unless they're catering to the people who are like just trying to fuck girls, or girls are trying to fuck guys. Like they're catering to them.
Because even that's too expensive for that, I think. Well, I mean, unless you make a good amount of money.
Yeah, it's worth it to them.
I wouldn't be against. There are certain things I wouldn't be against. Like if it was like, I don't know, 10 or ish bucks a month for an app, but that way your money goes to making sure everyone's verified, making sure you're not getting catfished, making sure you're not wasting your time on certain, like if we're both paying $15 a month, then we're both putting our money into this. This isn't just something free that we tried to skim around.
Good point. Great point.
I always thought the same with social media. We love how much that's free, but all they're doing is selling your information. I would much rather pay $5 to $10 a month, and that way everything I put on there, you're not selling it to everyone else. Like you keep my stuff alone, leave my stuff alone, but I'll pay you just so it's a service. But no one's willing to pay now because we already got it for free. So we just sell our information instead.
Mm-hmm.
But I put it on that route. I put it like if I'm rich and $500 a month isn't that much to me, that just kind of filters out everyone who can't afford it. So I'm in that same bracket.
Really good point. People who are taking it seriously.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
So for me, $10 a month. Yeah. If it was like okay, this way everyone else is serious also, I'm not going to worry about, yeah, I'm paying for the verification that everyone's who they're saying they are.
Right. And that's another thing too I didn't think about is verification. Like they probably verify who the fuck it is. You know what I mean?
Tinder might do it. I know Bumble did because I got verified. You had to submit a picture of yourself with something. I can't remember what it was, but there was a way to verify yourself on Bumble anyway. So there was like a little check. There's like a little check mark. So whoever didn't have it, I'm like, yeah, you just gotta like swipe past, just not risk it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm guessing Tinder probably has something like that, but I don't know.
Okay. Here's another one. So this guy is talking to this girl, right? And he is on Tinder. He puts, what's your ideal work week look like? She goes, almost every day. What? He says. She goes, I work every day. LOL. He says, not your schedule now. LOL, your ideal work schedule. And she puts, what do you mean? I work 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. And he puts the emoji with the face, the hand on the face. She says, what? He says, if you had your ideal schedule for work, what would it be? She says, I don't know, LOL, probably days. He says, would you still do the same amount of hours or more, less each day? He goes, I usually really like just doing like 2 to 3 15-hour days a week. because I had the rest of the week off and I got all my hours and don't have to plan all my days around working. Really like having my free time, you know? She puts, I don't really have free time, to be honest. He says, why is that? She puts, I work too much. He goes, oh my God. And she says, what? It's the end. So basically, this chick is, it sounds like what we were talking about before the podcast, where her reactions or her responses look like she's not into him, but they matched on Tinder. So it's like, what the fuck is going on here?
I literally was going to ask you, where would you have stopped texting? Because I would have stopped after.
Right.
I would have given. Can you go back one? I would have given it up to almost every day. Is like, okay, she's not into it, but I would have done one more. But once I work every day, I would have stopped. I would have stopped there. I work every day. LOL. If that's your response,
Yeah,
then you're not into it. And that's fine. That's fair. You don't have to be into it. But I'm stopping there.
to be honest, I might ask again. Like after the work, and then when she goes, "What do you mean I work 6 p.m. to 7 a.m.?" Or I would explain myself even better. I don't know. I probably would have done everything he said, but I didn't like how he at the end here he did like that whole long. Like that's too much. I wouldn't have put that much effort into that.
In my opinion, if I would have made it past 3, I would have kept going just to see what's going on. I think that's what happened. I think he got to a point of, I'm going to keep asking just because I want to know what she's talking about.
She doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know what's going on.
I don't have free time. I work all the time. But what would you like to do? I work too much. I don't know.
And also, if she was just real like that, that would have made more sense. But the way she did that, it was fucking crazy, dude.
I don't have free time. Like, well, it was just not answering the question. It's like the up dog one. It's just
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Sorry, it's hard with this Zoom shit to like actually see when you're talking. I'm talking. Go ahead.
Oh no, it was just that. I was just like, it's just she didn't get the question, and that's just what's so funny. It's like the up dog where they just didn't get it, so you just have to go. All right, well, that's it.
Yeah,
she's still working to this day.
That's what I'm saying. I check out these comments, and look at tomorrow too. And this person is putting 80-hour weeks. Their brain is clearly fried.
What do you mean?
What's your ideal conversation like? I converse every day. LOL. Oh my God. So fucking hilarious.
My ideal work week is 0 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. These comments are funny. But yeah, she's still working to this day. I bet she is. I bet she is. Damn. Oh, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's so many dating sites. People tell me like Plenty of Fish. They're talking about Tinder. And then there's all these new ones where like you can like cheat on your wife with them. And it's like, Jesus
Ashley
Christ.
Madison. Ashley Madison had, that was the rich people to cheat on their wives. And then it got hacked and the names came out. That was hilarious.
That's right.
Oh, that's how I know about it, because it was on the news. I'm like, oh, that's great. If you're gonna hack something, that's pretty darn funny to hack.
Well, I mean, that's an interesting thing to hack. Someone must have had a personal thing against them or something. Must have been a girl who the hacker was a girl.
Well, it's all rich people on there, so I say good for them. Throw a wrench in there. You see your spouse on the list. You're like, excuse me.
Well, I would assume knowing how the man mind works, the men's mind works. I would assume you'd put like a fake name. I wouldn't put my real name.
You had to verify though, because it's for rich people. They're not going to do.
Oh, they have to verify you.
No, it was a legit, I think it still is a thing, but it's a legit, like, for rich people. So they're not going to have fake names. Like, you want to know who you're going to be just wasting your time with. So I'm pretty sure it was like real names, and they're using their credit cards. They're paying like legit. So I don't think you could just do a fake name. It's like it's your credit card information or your bank account, whatever.
Oh. Okay, well, shit.
Yeah. As far as I know, I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure you had to pay. You had to pay to have the privilege to use that service, and that was a big one to get hacked.
Jeez. Wow. Yeah. Ashley Madison. And then there's like um, like there's like the Christians only. There's like they have a farmers one now.
Farmers
like one
only.
for only farmers only, and then they do like like black people only.
Yeah.
They do midgets only. They do everything now. They do everything, which is crazy.
I mean, it makes sense. There's so many. If there's like one thing you're for sure on, then I guess that's what you do. If it's like, I don't know, everyone has a thing now. If you're a farmer, you're like, no, I need someone who's a farmer. Then you know where to go.
I guess so, huh? That's
So
crazy.
it
I need
makes
someone who
sense.
knows how to raise my sheep.
Yeah.
You know, I need someone who knows the tender touch of an udder to get this milk out. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Yeah, I don't know, man.
I think
I don't know.
they probably make so much money too.
Farmers?
I'm just saying they all
Oh.
probably make a lot of money.
Oh, the apps. I thought you meant farmers.
Yeah.
I'm like farmers.
Oh. I mean, yeah. They usually do. They're usually millionaires, but it's also, you know, a lot of work, obviously.
Right. The apps.
That's a scary thing because it's like you can know exactly what to do, but if for whatever reason your crops fail for a season, then you're pretty much out. So my God, that's a scary thing. That's a gamble.
You're still talking about farming.
No, you got me on there now. I've jumped to so many topics.
I thought we were talking about the apps. The way you were describing it's like, you know, it's a whole way you got to do it. Like, you know, you can mess up a lot. I thought you were talking about like making an app. I thought you were talking about making it. You're talking about farming. Dude. Yeah, I don't know about that.
You gotta know what you're doing.
Yeah. I don't know about that, man, about the app stuff, because all I know is Tinder. And this is so one of the things that people don't understand. That's the main theme of what I think we try to get at. It's if anyone's listening, if it's anyone listening that needs advice and needs help, listen to our laughs and listen to us make fun of these people who do these things, because that's not the move, right? That's not some of these mainly these are not the move, because the main reason is, like, I've been in this situation before. Okay, so it's not a funny situation to be in when you are in a relationship and you're making the wrong moves, trying to make the right moves. You know, it's hard. It's very hard as a man, probably as a woman, as a person in general. I'm sure it's hard to navigate and not step on these, what you called earlier, landmines, because it's so easy to step on a landmine, let it all go away. You know, girls like guys that are tall, girls like guys that have a certain type of skin. And sometimes you walk around and you think that you are, dating someone when you're not. I've been in that situation. Have you been in that situation where, like, I would date a girl and then I would assume she was my girlfriend, but then she would be like, no, I'm not your girlfriend. You ever been in that situation? I've been in that situation a lot when I was younger. A lot.
I have not been in very many situations, so no, but I can understand. That's my concern. That's where I get concerned of being in that situation.
Like, where do we stand? Like always know where you stand. And that's one thing I learned the hard way many times, is that it got to a point where dating women, I had to not assume, and I had to, like, have a talk. Like, after a couple of dates or after things got serious, you know, like a little bit, I'd be like, hey, so I would like you to be exclusive to me only, you know, and then that's where, you know, you have a common agreement on it. Because if you don't have that conversation, you're going to walk around thinking this girl's yours and she might be dating a bunch of dudes, and you never know. You would never know until you actually, like, hey, this is how we manage expectations, right? So yeah. I'm saying that in to prepare you for this next video. Okay. saying all this to prepare you. Don't be this guy, okay?
You guys in a relationship?
Yeah. No.
Oh. Okay, well, you say yeah, you say no.
We are not in a relationship. No.
Okay, I guess we're not. Miscommunication
Ouch.
here.
No. Perfect communication. He's actually just an acquaintance. I only recently met him 2 weeks ago.
It was love at first sight, but she's shy. She needs time to build into it. That's what I think.
No, I don't.
Why does the friend zone exist?
For losers who are meant to be there.
Would you say he's in the friend zone?
Yes, I do have a boyfriend.
Oh, you do have a
Yes,
boyfriend.
not him.
Just because there's a goalie doesn't mean you can't score, right?
Eesh.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. I thought there was a miscommunication in the first half, but that last half when she says she has a boyfriend, okay, so maybe the guy was being creepy. I don't know. So
They only knew each other for 2 weeks.
So that flipped the script pretty quick for me. I was going I feel bad for the guy. I'm like, wait, okay, this is okay.
Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Unless, like I'm saying, I'm prefacing this with it, unless it's a fake video. But if it's real, that guy, don't be that guy. People, don't be that guy.
Yeah, that was a quick turn on that one.
She looked very upset. After he said that, she looked extremely upset.
Well, the first 10 seconds, I'm like, oh yeah, he thought this and it wasn't this. But then when she busted out, she has a boyfriend. I'm like, oh, okay, so the guy's being the guy came off as super creepy at that point.
And they were at school, so maybe it's a thing of he only hangs out with her at school. Or he only goes at her at school. So he thinks, oh, I'm the one who's always with her at school. I'm the guy. Didn't even ask her about her home life.
I could understand the miscommunication of, oh, I thought we were dating, but okay, I guess we aren't. But if you're at that point of even thinking that you're dating, then you should be aware of whether or not she has a boyfriend. So that's where I'm like, okay, that's where it got okay, that's weird. So
right.
you could, I think you're allowed to have the, shoot, we didn't talk about it. I thought we were, but we're not. It's like, all right, well, but to get to that point, not knowing she had a boyfriend, that's kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. That guy's weird.
They must not have been talking that often if that's the case.
Yeah. What do you think about this next video, okay? When you're actually trying to talk to a girl. Let's say, for example, you're out there, right? We're out there. We're out in space where we're having drinks. We're just chilling. And you see a girl, right? And you're into her. And I'm like, go talk to her, right? Just go talk to her. What's the worst that could happen, right?
Normal Saturday night. Yeah.
What's the worst thing that could happen, right? Okay. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind for this next video.
You have to ask yourself, is it worth dealing with that friend for the rest of your life? So even if, let's just say the person still managed their way, let's just say that girl you try to talk to comes back and tries to talk to you, is okay, is this going to be an issue forever? Because this is going to draw a huge wedge between us. Because it's I could move past that if it's okay, well, she just did this to be whatever, but that means that's gonna be, yeah. So that's my thing of, oh, you have a friend like this. I don't know if I want to deal with this right now.
That's a deal breaker for you. The friend.
How? Well, okay. I'm just trying to think. How is it not, in the sense of you meet someone that you really want to talk to, and you find out, I have no idea. Maybe that's not even a friend. Maybe it's just someone she barely knows. I don't know. It could just be.
That's fair. You have a fair. It's fair. Your opinion is fair. But I think it's interesting that's you thought about that instant. I didn't even think about that.
No, my thing is oh, do I have to deal with this for the rest of my life? because that might be an issue. Because that's where it's like, oh, I'm not going to be okay with this.
Definitely an issue.
But I'd be willing if, and I don't know what the correct thing to do about that would be, but my thing would be, okay, I'm going to leave them all alone. And if she wants to come talk to me again, she's able to, and we could talk about it. I could say, is this thing that's going to be normally happen, or what's this about? But yeah, I think if that were to happen, I'd just be like, okay, I'm not dealing with this unless until I get more information, you know?
Right. Yeah, and that's extremely fair. It's a very fair assessment of the situation. But I just think it's really shitty of that girl it's very shitty of that friend to do that. It's like, what are you doing? Like, what, look at yourself. And to have a friend like that in the first place, like, what the fuck? Who is this person? Like, get rid of her. She's toxic.
Well, that's the thing where I would allow. I say, well, I don't know. I don't know if that's the way to use it. I think of it as this way. I put myself in both. I try to put myself in both scenarios, right? If a girl came up and wanted to come up and talk to me, and you got between us and said, no, you're not talking to them, I would be like, no, let me talk to her and let me figure it out first. And then so I would understand what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say is I would expect her to react the same way I would react. Where I would say, you know what, I'm not going to deal with it. If you want to come talk to me by yourself, we'll talk about it. We'll see. But that initial interaction, I am not dealing with that. If that's your friend, then I'm not dealing with that until we talk about it separately anyway. And if you don't come over and talk to yourself, then I'm not dealing with it at all.
Right.
Because I would expect the same thing from her. If I had a friend who did that same thing, I would not blame her at all for being like, oh, I'm not touching this.
But if you had a friend that did that, what would keep that friend around after that? I feel like that would be like something that'd be like mind your business.
Oh, it would. But I think that's the difference of, I could be totally wrong, but I don't think men would really do that. It would be more like you deal with it yourself. But I think it's like a thing of I think women are more of protecting each other, which I'm not against. But that initial reaction of just shoving the guy away is like, okay, at least allow her to make her own decisions. You know, that's where it's like, okay, yeah.
Right.
So that would be the.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Basically, it would annoy me to where I'm not going to try to play football and try to do a turn and try to talk to her. Like, okay, well, you knew I tried to talk to you. If you want to talk to me, you could wiggle your way out of the friend that you have. And so, yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay. Let's see. We're getting near the end. Let me just show another one real quick. And I think it's really funny. This is another type of girl I'm glad I don't have in my life. Okay. So Angie, Tinder, right? She writes to this guy, and this guy's showing this screenshot. There's a guy showing his screenshot of a text message with the girl named Angie from Tinder. She says, I don't really like beards. And he puts, laugh my ass off. Why would you swipe on me then? She goes, well, you can always shave it. And he puts, laugh my ass off. I won't though. The beard stays. She put, you won't shave for me? He puts, laugh my ass off. No, I won't. She says, why not? I don't like guys with beards. He goes, laugh my ass off. He says that a lot. Sucks to suck then. I'm not shaving it for you. She says, I guess you'll have to miss out on me tomorrow night then. Wink, wink. He says, those who would shave the beard for pussy deserve neither the beard or the pussy. Ben Franklin probably. Ben Franklin probably. Yeah. That's crazy. Girls who want to change guys. That's another thing. That's a real thing.
Well, okay, well, that's where it's like, if you're swiping on someone and immediately going like, "Oh, you're gonna shave your beard though, right?" It's like that's weird.
That is very
I think
weird.
but I do think it's fair to be upfront and say I'm not a big fan of beards, but maybe we get to know each other, and maybe if we really take it seriously, we could discuss it then. Because I wouldn't be necessarily against changing like whether it's my hair or my beard if it's for something serious. Like if it's like if I'm married to someone and she goes, well, what if you tried not to have a beard? I'd be a team player. Okay, well, maybe I'm willing to give it a try, but it wouldn't be like, oh, you want to go on a date this Thursday, but you don't want a beard? Okay, I'm going to shave it. Like, well, no, that's not going to happen. Like, the minimum is let's figure out if this is even a thing, But even then, so it's more of I'm willing to do something if she thinks it might look nicer. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But it's got to be like, okay, we're like, it's serious. To swipe on someone with the beard and say, yeah, I don't like beards. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's something that is, that's a real thing. Like exactly what you're saying. Because my wife is, she likes my mustache. And she gets mad when I take off my mustache. But to be fair, when I started dating her, I had a mustache. So it's kind of like, the opposite, be like, why did you shave your beard? That's what that's what you are about. You know what I mean? But sometimes I just need to clean it off. I just need to get it all off.
Well, like, when I was married and when we would date and stuff, there'd be a few months where she would say, well, why don't you try his long hair? I'm like, all right, well, I'll grow out my hair and see if I like it. Then eventually, if I I don't really like it anymore, so then I buzz it. Or it was like every year or so, hey, why don't you try this? All right, I could try it. Or if it's something where I'm tired of something, then I'll just change whatever it is. Because there was a couple times where I would go to longer hair and then I would just buzz it again, and that's still what I do now too. I would just let it grow until I get bored of it, then I buzz it.
Right.
So it's I don't think there's anything wrong with if you have I think the difference is if it's a partner. Your wife can make a suggestion, but if it was like you just started dating and you just started dating someone, and the next day you show up without a beard because she said she like it. Like, well, you literally just started dating. Like, why don't you wait until it's serious before you start altering your looks for someone?
Right, exactly.
But to clarify, if it's like even at that point, it can't be like, okay, I don't like him anymore, get rid of your beard. It's like, well, no. I should clarify that suggestions are always welcome, but it should never be an order,
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I know you're tired of loving with nobody to love. Nobody. So just
all right, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate this.
Yeah,
this is great. I appreciate all your input on what you think a proper gentleman should act like when it comes to women.
I feel like I jumped around so much this time that I don't even know if I was coherent most of the time. But I think we got it good.
We're good. You're good. We're good. I wouldn't worry so much. But yeah, thank you so much for this. I very much appreciate this. Again, Brent Masters jumping in. It's like his sixth time probably on the podcast. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. I don't know. But it's fun. It's fun times.
All right, man. Well, hope you have a good night. I'll see you soon. Have a good Super Bowl.
All right. Oh, yeah. You have a good rest of your vacation.
All right, you too, man. I'll see you soon.
See you later.
Bye.